It's complicated when we talk about all things relationships and dating.
Tonight we want to know how far your love will go. Would you date someone who lived in another state or maybe even another country, right? You know, it might not be that complicated.
Nah, it's probably complicated. But we're going to talk about it with our guest today. We're joined by DJ Freeze of Radio 1's WKYS and Winter Harris, relationship and life coach. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Thanks for joining us. So have either one of you guys been in a long distance relationship?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
What?
I prefer them.
What?
I was about to say, you sound excited about it.
I do. I prefer them. I like to travel, so it gives me an excuse to have a quick trip.
Okay.
So there's not really a distance that I won't go if I'm really interested in the person. As long as they're as committed as I am about sharing the responsibility of traveling, absolutely, hands down, I do enjoy it.
Why do you prefer it? Like, do you not like being so close?
The quicker to ghost you with if necessary. No, I'm not a proponent of ghosting, don't get me wrong.
Lies.
But
You're hard.
Right.
That came out so quickly.
That hurt me.
That came out so quickly. She was like, oh, but I'm not a proponent. Okay.
I feel like you should be an adult when you don't want to see any. But I'm telling you, people have changed. And so it's not as easy to, you don't have to worry about seeing them at church or to worry about seeing them in the grocery store. If they're long distance, like once it's done, it's done. You guys just move on with your life. But again, if it works out, then you get a nice place to visit, a nice vacation or 3, and
So let me ask you this then. How often are you traveling to see this person?
I think it depends on the distance.
Okay.
So the further distance, of course, it's going to be, you have to plan that a little better. But I do think that the closer, of course, it's going to be easier. You're going to be able to see them more. So the furthest I've dated someone, they've lived in Texas. That's pretty far from here. So we would alternate. He would come 1 month, I would come 1 month, and we would just go back and forth. And then depending on the financial situation, because that's a big deal too, right? That's a financial investment if you're dating long distance. So if they weren't able to come as often, depending on how I felt about them, I might pick up the slack and come more if I could afford to come more. Or if we could balance it out maybe every 2 weeks. But a lot of it just depends on the situation. A lot of times it just, if you can afford it, great. You see each other more. If you can't, then you got to plan that out strategically. But the responsibility, I feel like, falls on both.
Okay, what about you, DJ?
You be
Freeze?
on the move, yo. That's incredible. Me? Man, I think, all right, so yeah, I was in a long distance relationship because in college, like she was in the DC area. She went to American University. I went to Bowie State University. That commute ain't that bad.
Right.
But when the semester is over, so the winter and summers, she would go over to Cali. Hey, Zenas, she probably married by now.
You giving a shout out to
You think she's married?
Sorry it couldn't work out. You look good. Sorry it
Oh,
couldn't work out.
wow.
Oh, man.
But yeah, she
Hi,
lived
Zena.
in
Off the rails already.
Cali, and I was still in Maryland, and like I always thought, like one day we're like, all right, cool, I'm gonna save up this bread, I'm gonna go to Cali and stay there for like a week or 2 when I'm cool with the parent, blah blah blah. And I would just, do that whole trip. I wish I was like, I could do that. I had enough energy to do that, but at the same time, I was like DJing, and I was making my money. It's hard to leave my post
I got it.
to go over and spend a week or 2 for love. I wish I was more romantic. I wish it could have worked out like that.
That's what people say is like they put their career first, like especially where you're at in your life, like career might be more
Yeah, it was
important.
college. That's where I was bubbling. That's where everything was like stirring up. But but when she was back in town, hey, that was super dope. And she was super smart, helped me with work. It was functional, but it was during the holidays.
His reaction was hilarious. So wait, so you prefer long distance relationships? Do you prefer long distance
Would I
relationships?
prefer one? I think I would have to develop a liking for it because the way I have a projected idea of my career, it might be like, I was watching Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's kind of interview, and they were talking about how they're in love and they're married, but they're so out of contact with each other that they have to get used to a long distance relationship. But I have the idea of always coming back to a base.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep on jumping around trying to meet you or trying to find you. I think if we had a base and if we were traveling, cool, but.
So you mean like a base where both people meet up or you're going to like the.
Home.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like a deadline of when it will actually.
Yeah, because there's like a blurry line between a long distance relationship if you're married and moving.
Yeah, that's different.
Right? But if you were just long distance, if you were in that country working and you were in America doing tech, you know what I'm saying? You guys are just long distance. That would be very tough.
That is different. And that's when it gets like kind of complicated. Some people are already in the comments going off.
Oh, comment section, let's get it.
Somebody said, damn son, simple, get a side chick done. Really? That's what we're doing?
But I wonder that cheating is probably higher with long distance
It
relationships.
definitely is.
Well,
and
I don't actually. That's not true. That's not.
I do have seen a lot.
I saw a study that there is no significant increase in infidelity within a relationships, despite if it's long distance or short
because
distance.
it's already so high even when you just check with each other. So,
Who doing these stats?
anyway.
Women out here cheating, man.
I know, y'all.
I mean, the women are getting really ruthless. But anyway, we hit the streets to hear what some of you guys had to say. So let's take a look at that.
I mean, Skype a lot. Try to spend time that way.
I know, but
back
you
to the
went
same
into-
place. Someone compromise and move.
It depends on how long you've been in the relationship and how long you're gonna be away from the person.
Once or twice a week.
Okay, wow. That's expensive.
You just can't randomly see them every now and then because that's not really a relationship in my opinion.
Communication will be at one point just like, how was your day? Okay, mine was fine. Bye, and so on. So
If you stay apart for too long, you're gonna drift apart. Yeah. So you should always try to get close to each other, get intimate with each other as much as you can.
Since I'm playing in Women of Spain, he's gonna wait here, I guess, and also finish his career.
My first relationship was a long distance relationship, and I don't liked it much.
If they have a job, if they can't take off on the weekends, you can see them every few weekends and stuff like that. So.
Run? I don't know. I've never done it. I don't think I'm made for it.
He was wearing a backpack too.
Oh, yeah, they did look young. As you can see, people definitely have mixed feelings when it comes to long distance relationships. Rose Desify says, how can you take off work like that? That was great. Jerome Redding said, yes, it could work with the right person, and that's how I feel. Alicia Banamar said, my boyfriend travels, so I like it. We only see each other that I know of. He was his... Okay. Don't know what happened there.
He was in Johannesburg.
Oh, he was in Johannesburg, South Africa for 3 years, and I visited 3 times. Well, I like my space. So she was basically saying what you said.
Yeah.
I think some people really like it. My mom is even like that. She's married to somebody who travels for work and stuff, and when they're together, they make it work, and she likes having her space. So it just works for some people.
So I gotta ask you though. You prefer long distance relationships.
Yes.
Are there any nights? I mean, and like you said, sometimes it's month by month, depending on the distance, maybe every week. But is there any time where you miss the comfort of someone, you want to go home and just see that person, hug that person? Don't you miss that at all?
Of course. If the stronger the relationship gets, the connection, of course, you would love to have someone can we go grab a bite to eat? That's not necessarily an option when you're long distance, but that comes in time. You have to make it that long, and most of mine haven't. So I really can't speak to that. But
so what would you say was the determining factor of it not working out if you loved long distance relationships so much?
So I feel like if you're going to enter a long distance relationship, I do tell the people I coach this, establish if someone's willing to make the move from the beginning. I don't feel like the relationship is worth pursuing if no one's willing to make the move. What's the point?
Yeah.
Because if you do
Wait,
get
what do you
serious,
mean, what's the move?
make the move. If one of you are going to move to each other's location, are you willing to move for love? Are they willing to move for love?
Because some people's stances are, why be in a relationship if you're not gearing up for marriage? And that's the end all be all, instead of just riding that wave. They're like, well, if you're not determined to be married to this person, why even be in a relationship?
I agree, but not everybody feels that way. Some people just like to date their life away. So we have to make an allowance for that. Some people aren't looking for a marriage. Some people looking for a long-term partner, right?
Yes.
But even still, you got to have the conversation, because I do have friends now that are engaged, and he made the leap to move with his fiance. I mean, he left. So he was willing to move for love. Quit his job.
So then are there some people who do just keep being in a long distance relationship without any end goal? They just travel back and forth, just having fun?
I know several
really
who do that.
Going on?
I know several.
What's the point in that?
Celebrities now.
So
I get paid for being on Instagram.
Now, you made a good point that you're only in it with someone who is willing to split the financial burden.
Yes.
So I gotta ask you, DJ Freeze, would you, if there was someone that you were interested in, let's say Houston, Texas, would you be willing to split the financial burden for her to come see you, or would you want her to split your flight to go see her? What would you think?
All right, so this would be the dope thing. All right, so in order for me to establish establish a relationship with somebody in Texas, I would have to be able to generate currency in that city. So with my type of job description, me being a DJ, so I'm just gonna bring it back to if that's is the only way it could work, because I mean, like, I'm married to DJing. In order for me to love you, I have to cheat on DJing.
So you can never be in you can never be in a relationship without, you know.
Hey man, if I love that woman so much, I have to feel good about cheating on DJing. That's how she gotta be.
So your wife will be the side chick.
No. If when I marry her, then that'll be the deciding factor. I feel like I'm the type of man that stands forward on when I get married, I snap. That's how I feel for now. I don't think it's a graduate thing, but when I get married, that means that's a contract to me. I signed a contract. Marriage in America is a contract. Till then, that's when I snap and I become the man that you marry. But up until then, DJing, you got the ring.
He still didn't answer my question, though. Would you be willing to pay for someone to fly out and see you once a week, once a month, whatever?
All right, so you said pay for
or split the financial burden.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Some women may want you to pay for them and for their flight because they're coming to see you.
It'll have to be mutual.
It should be a mutual thing.
Yeah, it'll have to be mutual, and I'm hoping I'm getting some type of residual or. I would have to build a plant.
He looking for dividends.
I would have to build a plant in that city. That's my only, it would be a business plan at that point, but nearly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So you know what?
Because I have that kind of relationship with somebody in New Jersey. Not a full-on relationship, but I would go to New Jersey.
That's not too far. You can drive.
But I'm not going to New Jersey unless I'm trying to.
You heard it here first, folks. So there's somebody in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hi, somebody in New Jersey.
And that's what we call putting on blast.
Right. But okay, so finances, that's important when it comes to long distance relationships. So our arrangement, or whoever I'm seeing that's long distance, if I pay to fly there, they pay for my hotel. If they pay to fly to see me, I pay for their hotel. That's how we kind of split the costs to kind of even it out. Like, that's an expense, and I think you both show vested interest when you contribute financially. I think if a guy is dealing with a woman who won't see him unless he's doing all the paying, throw the whole situationship away. I don't feel like you should have to do that until marriage. That's my personal opinion. It doesn't make it law. And I'm sure some ladies going to be like, don't be telling them. But I feel that way. Don't do it.
It's a mutual relationship. Y'all should
spend
it should be mutual expenses. Like, I'm not in this by myself. You don't have to pay for me. Like, if I want to come see you, I will pay for you. I mean, I will pay for myself to come out there.
Yes.
And then you pay for yourself to come see me. Like, I feel like that's fair. Liz Wolf said, not true if you're in a true commitment. Annie said, I'm going to try and make it work. The two of us will try. Janine said, look, in a long-distance relationship, you have to be honest enough to say when you are ready to date someone else. It's not fair to the other person. My husband of 13 years now. We dated for 7 years before we got married. The woman in a long-distance relationship have to be stronger than a man when it comes to feelings. Wait, what?
They gotta be
really?
very, very
Why
confident.
do you say that?
Because a woman's confidence can be fickle sometimes. I mean, like, in the social media world, we're very, very, very vulnerable on what we see, touch, hear, feel, experience. And the mind is a very manipulative tool. You know what I'm saying? So this social media thing could definitely draw in a whole lot of, like,
makes it worse.
Yeah. So
It does.
you have to be focused, super focused.
So when you guys are dating someone long distance or out of state, are you claiming that person as my boyfriend, girlfriend, and are you worried about what they are doing with other people?
Okay. I feel like you're not exclusive until you have a conversation. So I would not assume that we are boyfriend and girlfriend until we have defined the perimeters of that.
Okay.
So I feel like it ain't none of my business if we ain't had a conversation what you're doing. But I probably would not travel to see you regularly if we're not official. Because that's a lot of money to be given up if we're not official. That's me. I'm not doing it. But
so
some people don't
you
mind.
said regularly, but if you were just dating, you might travel like one. Okay.
Depending on what he working with, you know.
Hey.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the situation.
You know, make some allowances.
Dang, Texas.
Make some allowances.
And also, if someone is flying out to see you, do you feel like you owe them something because they came out? Like,
Isn't that like what Future? Did y'all see the
I
Future?
was gonna bring that up. That's why I was bringing it up. That's where I was going. No. Go ahead.
Oh, that would be a long flight.
Did you guys see the Future situation? So a woman went on Twitter this week.
Okay.
And she said that her and Future had been talking for a few months or something like that.
I don't even know how long they were talking.
And she said that sometimes they would talk. And he wanted to fly her out to LA, I believe it was.
Okay.
Told her that you pay for the flight and I'll pay you back. I'll reimburse
like,
you
what?
when you get here.
Who's doing that?
Wait, he got all that
like,
money?
She got there. He had a hotel set for her and everything.
So she did pay to do it.
She paid for the flight.
Okay.
Paid for the hotel, and he sent her a text like, "Hey, come to the hotel or come to my spot." And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm not that kind of woman." And he was like, "Okay, okay, man."
You got hit with some average nigga shit.
And she was like, "So you don't want to see me no more?" He was like, "I'm good." And he did not reimburse her flight. And when she went back to her hotel, everything was already like he didn't work because he had.
I don't feel sorry for her.
He was expecting something, for her to travel.
And was that fair for him to do that? Because I think a lot of Twitter was agreeing with him, saying that a lot of Twitter was saying that she took
because
an
we've
L.
all taken a trip as a young man out of state to try and fly to some, and if you ain't get them, you gotta go back by yourself.
I'm sorry.
First of all, you
For what?
didn't pay for it. He didn't pay for it though.
He paid for the hotel. And you said if you pay for the flight and he pays for the hotel, that's fair.
Where'd she fly from?
I don't remember.
That was his deposit for the
What do you
pussy.
mean he paid for the hotel? That's probably where he was staying in the first place. It was just him inviting her.
No.
To where he stayed.
Oh, no, he's going to stay with the guest.
Yeah, he has his own spot out there. He canceled her the whole room.
Oh,
when
he
she
had
was
his
like,
own spot there?
Yeah.
Okay, so then he was just getting a hotel
She
for that.
She took that L. She deserved it. That's just, you get your money up front. Who's raising
That's
her?
what that was the first thing that I
You get
said.
paid up front.
That was the first thing I
hands
said.
down.
Reimbursement. Like, what?
Wait, but was Future right though? He was expecting something.
To a certain extent, you need to have that. Y'all need to know what y'all.
Why did she clarify?
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, status isn't communication.
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, I agree.
Like, oh yeah, I'm
that's on her.
And then just assume that y'all are just chilling. Like it needs to be a conversation.
And she said she didn't understand. In the text messages, Future said, "Nah, you understood." And so
he tried to be the Sly Fox with all the Me Too's going on.
So
he not trying to leave no receipts. That's what he did.
I mean, putting ourselves in their shoes. Clearly, none of us are of Future status. Let's say,
he got hit with some average nigga shit. He said, "Dang, I got humbled." He really tried to get humbled by her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Definitely got hit with it.
So no one's expecting anything, is what y'all are saying. You shouldn't expect something if you fly someone out. If you fly someone out, or at least they pay for a hotel.
To have that conversation, or you just need to know what's up. Like,
Like,
she had to have known.
What is he?
Have the conversation.
What is he supposed to say to make that more clear? Like, yo, when you get over here, I'm gonna beat it up. Like, what's he?
Basically.
Like, it's going down, right?
Yeah.
Something so she can. If she's not that type of woman, like, hey, I'm not that type of woman.
He's tiptoeing on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? He's just trancing, waltzing around this whole Me Too. He's just not trying to leave no receipts, and that's it. If she couldn't catch your drift, send her back home or cancel the.
I mean, she
hotel
flying
room.
back home on her own dime.
Literally.
Cancel the hotel
So,
room.
do you guys think that there's a certain deadline? Like, how long should you do long distance relationships before, being like, okay, I'm done with this, or we're gonna continue, we're gonna get married, we're gonna fly to see each other. I mean, to be with each other. What should be the cap? Like
cheesy.
1 year, 2 years?
1 year, 2 years.
How long do you guys?
You're the one that prefers this.
I do prefer it, but I've seen someone once and been like, I'm good on it. Like, I think it just depends on the person and the chemistry and how things are moving along. There's no one size fits all. I mean, period, with any type of relationship, especially not long distance. So one year, 2.
You think that's long?
That's an extra long time. You know how much money I could have got back off of my car insurance from Geico?
I mean, that's real. That's why people don't even do them in the first place.
Yeah, that is.
What do you think?
Oh man, that is a very, it's a dynamic question.
Yeah.
If you ask me, a very dynamic question because it depends on what kind of situation you are in life. Because I know I couldn't finish college. I couldn't stay out in California without finishing college.
Right.
Or I could transfer. Like it's very dynamic. So so in my situation right now with me being on a radio station, I would have to make sure that hopefully that my organization has an organization out there in the West Coast or has an organization out there in the Midwest or something so I could do a transfer. Or I'll just have to pack my stuff up and pursue love like Pablo from Alchemist or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just pack up and leave. Doesn't that just sound impossible? It sounds crazy.
It does.
In this world.
You definitely need to have a plan before you do all that.
But man, if that nigga or that woman or if that person does that for you, you better take care of them because you can't drop that person because they really dropping everything.
I thought he was gonna say something else.
Yo, could you imagine?
Okay, so
I'll be afraid.
This conversation's been real cool. But we're going to move on to the second half of our show. This is how we usually tend to end our show. So neither one of you said you guys will see this part of the show. These are popsicle sticks. All these popsicle sticks have a question pertaining to anything in a relationship.
All right.
So not
you gotta
just
answer it as honestly as you can.
Don't BS us.
Little do the listeners know, I took 2 shots of tequila when we were doing those walk around interviews.
I should have.
All right, so
pick any question. I see you trying to cheat. I'm gonna mix this up. You tried to
I
find
want
her
to
own.
see. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry,
go ahead.
Mama.
It might not be that bad.
It might not be that bad.
Might not, but it might.
All right, let's go. Freeze, you first.
All right, all right, read it out loud. What's the worst thing you've done to leave a date early?
He got so many.
Man, hold on. Early. Have I ever left a date early?
Yeah, you know you have.
Or have I kicked her out? Or have I ended the date? Or have I ended the booty call? There's another dynamic question.
Okay.
If I can't think of like
picked her out.
I'm thinking of like a movie date or a dinner date, but like what is the concept of a whole date?
When you guys were together and you wanted to end it.
Okay. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Cause she wanted to sleep over.
And what'd you
you
say?
were like, nah.
Yeah, man, I sound like an asshole. I sound like an asshole. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, yeah, she was on the red light. She was as red as my hair. So.
Oh no.
It's like.
Oh no.
It's like, dang, yo, you had one job.
I
was so anticipating this, man.
I can't deal.
But you be feeling it.
So how did you drop into her?
6 months later, you be like, dang, yo, that was wrong, Priest. But at the time, it felt so.
What did you say? What did you say to her to get her out?
What did I say? I got work. Something real passive. Something everybody hates, probably. You think it's the best, you think it's the best type of answer at the time, but it's probably the answer anybody, hey, I got work in the morning. Yo, I think you should call the Uber.
Did you pay for the Uber?
I'll go half.
Dang.
I don't got it that well. It's the first of the month.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you kick somebody out whether they
I make sure if I do something like that, they never want to see me again. So those type of words and that type of drag on conversation that you just never want to hear again. I'm that asshole. Damn, I'm that guy.
I feel like there's a lot of people who do that though, for sure.
Okay,
do I mean to? Do I want to?
I have. I'm not against. I mean, I've left.
Because sometimes
or did I
you're
watch
just
too
not
many
feeling
episodes
it.
of Martin and I just kind of picked up the attitude?
All right, we're going to move on from your popsicle stick. We're going to go to Winter's. Hers is a softball one. She got lucky.
I did. Mirror selfies, for or against. I hate them. I
For
mean,
men and women, or
for,
just for men?
For men and women, because people never check the background. And then I hate to
I love
see
it. That's the first thing you check.
You think? But people don't. So I automatically have already judged you. I don't want anything to do with you. Your mirror's dirty. You got all sorts of
The
crap.
mirror's always
Yes.
You got something in the toilet? Just
I'm like, okay, so you wear Hanes. We good. Like, I just, no, I am
that's
against
so
gotta
it.
clean your shower. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like clean bathroom
Yes.
countertops. I know you guys always have the makeup and stuff. You want to flaunt your name brand stuff. I like the clean ones. You gotta hit the mirror selfie.
My stick says, what do you look for in a partner? I don't. What?
It's all deep.
I don't know if I necessarily. I mean, clearly it's things I'm looking for. Someone who I think is morally correct. Isn't completely reliant on me. I think it's funny. We enjoy the same things. I don't think I'm really that picky. I mean, once I find you attractive and I see your personality, if I feel that your personality is something I can hang with to deal with for a long period of time, let's go for it. Let's try this out.
Plus, if she shaves your head.
And she
knows how to do that.
If I could just sit down and have her like run her head through her hands through my bald head. My bald head. Just,
you better get him Morris Chestnut.
Put my aftershave on for me.
Now he looks more like the guy from Insecure. The guy
Lawrence?
Nah, the other dude, the one that's a movie star now.
Who?
Is he from Insecure?
The side dude?
Side dude?
No, maybe it isn't Insecure. Maybe it isn't Insecure. But I've seen him in Girls Trip.
Oh.
That
Who?
Your boy.
Why is it my boy?
Ralph Angel?
Not the dude.
All the brown skin ladies.
The dude from the grapefruit scene, or what dude you talking about?
I think it's that nigga.
Anyway, from Girls Trip.
Who?
Kofi.
Oh,
Silva.
okay, he's fine.
Kofi vibes, dog.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a backhand
don't be a hater. She's about to hate real hard. What's your stick say?
Anyway, have you ever started a relationship really fast? Yes, I have. And it was
Everybody been
terrible.
there.
And it was terrible?
Yeah, don't do that, guys.
How long were you in that relationship?
For a while. But
So-
that's not the point.
So how do you know it was that fast? I mean, you clearly enjoyed it for a while, though.
Is that what that meant?
Yeah.
We can wrap the show now.
If anybody wants to, see what you guys are doing, DJ Freeze, where can they find you? What are they looking for?
You can find me on the 9 o'clock check-in on the weekdays, 93.9 WKYS. And
If you're in DC.
Yeah, worldwide, KYSDC.com. And I also do the overnights, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., 5 days a week. And on my Instagrams, Twitter, social media, Who is Freeze, man? I'm an anomaly. What's that? No, an enigma.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But you are lit. Where can they find you?
They can find me on winterharris.org, or you can go to all of my social media at Harris Winter. It's my first and last name backwards. You can catch me every Monday night at 9:30 for the Winter Harris Show. And you can purchase my latest book, Divorced in the City, and get live read about all of my dating shenanigans in D.C.
Fun.
Awesome.
Love it.
And you can
We're
find
right here.
me and Christina right here every Wednesday, 7 o'clock for It's Complicated. And stay tuned to Circa for more breaking news throughout the day. For Circa, I'm Omar Muhammad.
And I'm Christina Spicer.
And we'll see you guys later. Freeze came in here lit, man.
Oh, man, that was fun.
It was.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.